In my recent video on Klimt's Beethoven frieze, I pointed out the fact that his use of negative space in several sections of the frieze was highly original and almost unprecedented in Western art at that time. I pointed out the fact that this type of radical negative space has been in common use within the East Asian painting tradition, and mentioned the fact that Klimt was aware of Japanese art and probably had got his idea to emphasize negative space from his exposure to Japanese art. I then tried to think of an example of another Western painter that predated Klimt that used negative space in such a dramatic way, and I could only think of Whistler's Mother. Now, it's true that the negative space in Whistler's Mother is comprised of positive objects, in the sense a wall, a curtain, and a floor. So you may not agree that this even is negative space, but it certainly, in my mind, functions as negative space. It depends on how negative the space is that you are going to be labeling negative space. I noted the fact that Whistler is also known to have appreciated Japanese art. This is his famous Peacock Room of 1877, which has obvious Japanese influences intentionally used throughout. However, I forgot all about the Death of Marat. This painting, made by Jacques-Louis David, was created in 1793, so it far predates Whistler's Mother, which was made in 1871, and obviously Gustav Klimt's artwork, which was made in 1902. The Death of Marat is a masterwork of the highest order. It's been spoken about to no end in many places, and I don't really have that much to add to it personally, but just look at that negative space. It is very striking, it is very interesting, and it really stands alone, at least I think it does, in its use of negative space for this time period. Unless I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, again, I'm failing to recall other Western artwork that use negative space in dramatic and interesting ways. Can you think of any? If you are aware of a Western artwork from this time period, or let's just say from the 1800s or earlier, that uses dramatic negative space, let me know. Drop the name in the comment below and I will look it up and see. I did think briefly about maybe including Caravaggio and his use of tenebrism in this sort of consideration on negative space, but unless I'm mistaken, Caravaggio never really uses such a large amount of empty space that the space itself becomes a focal point. I could be wrong about this, but I don't recall. I feel like the shadows in a Caravaggio painting tend to function more as intervening spaces between the sharp objects in the light. Whereas here in the Death of Marat, it really is the space itself that becomes, that absorbs our consciousness, our awareness, like that becomes an important player in this drama. The space itself is important here in a way similar to the negative space used in Klimt's artwork or the negative space used in, let's say, Whistler's Mother or various types of Japanese and Chinese and Korean painting. Thanks for watching and ciao for now.